All right, got a project for us today. It's a 95 Impala picked up. Customer states it does not run, doesn't start. It'll crank, but it doesn't won't turn over. So he said the car's been sitting for about 3 years, and given my experience with these vehicles, pretty certain it's going to be the fuel pump. It's just what they do. Anytime they sit longer than about a year, fuel pump goes out. So first indication is that the gauge is pegged out. And nothing. So we're gonna do a little investigation, try to figure out why it won't start. So first thing we gotta check for is fuel at the rail. Let me go grab a screwdriver. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be no fuel at the rail. I love this snap-on. This is the only snap-on tool that I own. This little screwdriver. But this thing, I don't know what it is. It's just the right tool so many times. So what we're gonna do, this is your fuel pump Schrader valve. It's behind the intake. So if we press that, nothing. Fuel should be flying out of there. Nothing. No fuel's coming out. So we know there's no fuel getting to the engine now. So fuel pump's not delivering fuel to the engine. So I've already ordered the fuel pump. Should be here in a little while. It'll be here today, but I want to get the tank down and may have to put a new tank in it because or get it cleaned out. But the tanks are so cheap. I think they charge $80 at the radiator place to clean the tank, but I can get a used tank that's already been emptied and cleaned for like 60 bucks. So put these keys back just so we don't lose them. All right, so I already got the car up on ramps. I jacked it up so I can see the fuel pump. And disclaimer, like I said, I've already kind of looked at this car and everything. So this is what you find sometimes when you take it to people that don't know what they're doing. So let me plug this back in so it can be how I found it, because I already kind of diagnosed this. This is what I found. Bruh. So this is your fuel pump wire going from the tank, from the pump into the tank, and then this is the body side that goes onto the car. For whatever reason, at some point, somebody did this crap. They couldn't figure out why it wasn't getting power. So instead of diagnosing it the right way and figuring out if it was on the ground side or the power side, they put a ground on here and basically just wrapped electrical tape around this and attached it to the ground strap on the fuel pump. And then they took this wire and ran it through the trunk, and it's run all the way to the front end of the car. And I guess this is the sending unit wire, which is all frayed and eaten away and like stretched full. And then this is the stock wiring here in the car. So this type of stuff you gotta deal with. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all this crap out, drop the tank, and I'm gonna splice in. I already got a replacement one of these to splice onto here, and I'm going to diagnose it, try to figure out why this was done, and then go from there. That's probably why the fuel pump blew, because you got it hooked to direct crappy ground and straight power. So we'll get rid of all this and get it how it's supposed to. But first things first, we got to get this tank out. So we'll drop the tank. It's pretty easy. There's a couple ways you can do it. On the other side, there's 2 bolts. I used to take out these straps, but it's a pain. But now that I know that I can loosen them there, I do both and I bring it down. It's pretty easy. It's not too bad. So we'll get the tank down and go from there. Wow. So went to disconnect the fuel lines under here. And somebody already started, but they left the tool in there. That's a fuel line disconnect tool, just hanging out in there. And then this is the evap line, just kind of haphazardly on there. But that's funny, never seen that before. We'll get it right though. Just wanted to show y'all that. All right, so got the tank out. It's not too hard, I've done it several times. So get these 6 bolts out, and then we'll see what the pump looks like. It's pretty full too, so I'm pretty confident that damn it, the sending unit on the dash was definitely incorrect, because this thing's pretty heavy. And let's see if I can set you up here. Would you try to put these back on here so I don't lose them, so they don't fall in the tank? That's no good either. Wow. Wow. What the hell? Dude, this car has been a wiring like nightmare. Okay, so that's problem number one. So this is broken. It's supposed to be attached there. And then there's all this extra wire, and just everything is just all screwed up on this thing. Yeah. Well, the good thing is I'm replacing this whole unit, so that fuel doesn't look too good either. So set that off to the side. Yeah. Fuel doesn't look too good in there. All right, well, I'll see about getting this dumped out. I have a couple fuel containers laying around, so we'll dump it out, and then we'll get the new pump, put it in, and then we'll tackle that wiring, see what's going on there. All right, so it's the next day. The fuel pump never showed up. So I got the tank out, got it drained. It was super full, very heavy. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to put a tank back in with a bunch of fuel in it. It's not fun. So got it drained out. It's not too bad now. It's pretty light, so we can work with it. New fuel pump came in. So this is it here. It's a Spectre Premium. That's the part number. I've used this on a few of them. I mean, I think that's the same one that's in my car now temporarily. So what we're gonna do now is fix that wiring. So I have the replacement body side connector. Got this from Ivan. If you don't know who that is, that's IMPALA SS Parts on Instagram. He's out here in Georgia, down in Union City. All he does is part out Impalas and Caprices. So Ivan Andrews on Facebook. IMPALA SS parts on Instagram. I swung by his house, his shop the other day, picked this up, so I need this. So we're gonna go ahead and solder it in. So got my supplies here, got my torch, wire cutters, wire strippers, got my soldering iron. I actually just bought this not too long ago. So actually I used it a little bit, but not much. So finally get to use this. And then we got some shrink tube, shrink tube in, and solder. All right, so this is everything we're gonna need. Go ahead and bring this stuff over to the car. Tomorrow anyway, so I want to do this today so that if it doesn't work, I can just replace the whole taillight harness and go from there. So we'll get this cut up, get the new one soldered in, and we'll see if we can and then we'll put the tank back in and see if we can get some power to it. This is ridiculous. I'll show you when I get done where this wire goes. It goes all the way to the front of the car. All right, just waiting for it to get up to temp. Hit it with this. Good to go. That's one. Oh, arms get tired. Found it. All right. Now, doesn't have to be all the way up, just enough to where it covers up where the elements would be. So normally there's a little piece right here that clips into there like that, but it's not staying. So we're gonna use some zip ties here, kind of like how they had it on the other one. So it's not going to be perfect, but at least it'll be. See if we can get it to. Boom. All right. Cut off the excess. looks better. Alright, that's that. So wiring part is done. So now I'm gonna go put the fuel pump in the tank and get it installed, because look at this. Look at this. Like, who does this? Who does this? Like, what? Why would you do this? Alright, so let me go get the tank, the pump installed in the tank, and then we'll resume this installing the tank in the car. So, still pieces of there's more. This thing's pretty bad. So, let's see. It's pretty straightforward. So everything looks good. Before you put it in, you just want to check, make sure everything is still connected, everything looks good. This didn't come loose. All right. So pretty easy. That faces the back, this faces the front. So, first, this is first. There we go. So it sits there. There's two little notches that this sits in, and then it goes into these two holes. That's it. So now, flip it around, put it back up inside. All right, so the pump's in, tank is in. Got it all plugged in. Fuel lines are plumbed. GoPro died while I was installing it, and plus I didn't want to put a new battery in and just waste a bunch of footage showing me struggle. So now we're gonna test it, see what happens. I haven't done anything else. All right, well, so it looks like the sending unit works because it's pretty low on gas. Let's see if we hear the pump. I don't hear the pump. But looks like the pump works. So why they had that thing all rigged up, I have no idea. No idea. All that extra wiring for what? Maybe they were trying to diagnose why the pump wasn't working or something like that, but I mean, I didn't do anything special. I put new wiring in it. I put a plug in it, put a new pump in it, and as you've seen, it just fired right up. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip out all this old wiring. I'll show you where it kind of goes. Let me get this out of here, and I'll show you how they got the wiring like run through the trunk. Stupid. I don't, I don't understand people sometimes. Like I didn't, only thing I changed was the wiring down at the pump. I didn't touch anything, any of this crap going up here that they got. So why they ran all this, no idea. Car fires right up. So that wiring comes from through there, and it goes all the way to the front. These grounds, these are the fuel pump grounds here. is the grounds for the fuel pump and the headlights. I'm sorry, and the taillights. They both look good. Looks like they had a sound system in here at one point. But yeah, so we're gonna rip all this out. Should be pretty easy now. There's nothing connected to it, and then follow it all the way through. There's no point in having all this extra wire in here for nothing. I think it comes, when I was looking at it, yeah, look, it comes all the way up here, and then after that I don't know where it goes. So we're going to cut out as much of it as we can, because I mean, this thing's a mess, but we'll cut out as much of it as we can and probably cut it from here and just tape it up and then rip it all out the rest of the car. But yeah, I'm gonna change the oil on it because it's been sitting for like 3 years and he doesn't know. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know the last time the oil's been changed on it. So we'll change the oil, then we'll take it for a test drive. From what I understand though, the transmission's no good, and that was the reason it was brought to me, because he took it to the transmission shop and they couldn't do anything with it because it wasn't running. So as we see, it runs now. Gas in there smells terrible. So like, look at this thing. This thing's just a wiring wonder. Jeez. I'll ask him if he wants me to replace that at one point. In here we got that, there we got that. I mean, jeez. Yeah, the headlight harness isn't too bad. It goes through the core support, connects into 2 plugs over there. So replacing that wouldn't be a big deal. But if we replace that, then we can get a new fan harness and all that. So, yeah. So let me get some stuff so I can remove that old wire, and then we'll change the oil, and we'll try to drive it, see what happens. Yeah. All right, so got the oil change, topped off a few fluids. Now I gotta go put some gas in it, and I can't find my gas can, so I'm gonna try to drive it. Gas station's literally around the corner, so it was cutting out on me a little bit, but I think I can make it to the gas station. It's right there. So I'm gonna try to make it to the gas station, put a couple bucks in it, and hopefully it makes it. If not, I'll just go get the trailer, winch it up on there, and go from there, or just walk to the gas station and buy a can there for $100 or however much they charge. So go ahead and drive it over there, get some gas, and see how she runs. So first drive went pretty well. Just got to the gas station, put some gas in it. So it definitely needs a transmission, but the customer already told me, you know, that he was taking it to the transmission shop or whatever. So it definitely needs a trans. Other than that, though, I mean, it runs pretty good. Most of the lights on the dash are gone. I don't have my seatbelt on. Check engine light, it's a 95, but I do have a scanner for it, so I'm just going to pull the code, see what it is. As you see now, the fuel gauge is working. I only put about $15 in there just so I could drive around a little bit, make sure everything's good. Next thing we need to address, I'm going to fix it for him too, is the temperature gauge. I don't think the temperature gauge seems to be working. It's on the passenger side of the block, and it's a little sensor that goes in there. And I mean, it's common to break, so I'll tomorrow I will grab one and swap it out for him before I give it back to him. You know, I just want to give it back to him with, you know, as much working as I can, you know. I've had this car in my possession for probably about 3 weeks. Right after I picked it up is when I got sick, and I was down for 2 weeks, and you know, I felt bad, like, dude, you know, the timing was horrible. you know, I just got your car and then all of a sudden I'm sick, and it's his first time doing business with me. So, you know, I want to make sure I'm not going to charge him any extra for these little things that I'm fixing, just because, you know, like I said, kind of like a thank you for, you know, understanding me being sick. Because, you know, he could have been like, well, bring my car back, and, you know, thought something was fishy, you know, just, you know. So I'm just going to fix all these things for him. I wish I had another dash, or, you know, I think I might have another one of these, so at least I can fix this, stop this from falling down. I may have a spare one, but I believe I was going to put it in my wife's car, so I have to check. But I may pull this out, try to glue it together, just something, you know. I'm going to pull that code here in a second. But yeah, the temp gauge isn't working, so, you know, I don't want to give him the car back, you know, done all this stuff, and then he's like, hey man, can you fix my temp gauge, and I got to get the car back. You know, I'm gonna try to fix as much as I can, you know, while I have it. And I'll let him know, hey, look, while I had it, I took care of this, I took care of that for you. You don't owe me anything extra, you know, just pay me for what we agreed, and we'll go from there. So, you know, I know these cars like the back of my hand, so changing that little sensor isn't gonna, it's nothing major. It's super easy. It's a 19mm. You pull it out, a bunch of coolant's gonna fall out, you get the new one in, plug it in, you're done. I've even went where the plug is actually falling apart, and I had to solder in a new plug, which I've got experience in, because as you've seen, I did the fuel pump. And that, again, I don't understand why whoever wired up that fuel pump did what they did, because when I put the new wiring in there, car fired right up, everything worked like it should, factory. So I'm gonna call him, let him know, hey, car's running, it's good to go. And I'll let him know I'll fix the temp gauge and different things like that, and see what he wants me to do. I think he wants me to tow it to the transmission shop. So I'll probably do that. I see some smoke coming out. We'll investigate this. Well, it's been sitting for 3 years, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff burning off of it, and different things like that. So I'll run the code, I'll fix the temp gauge, and then we'll probably pick this video up when I deliver it to the customer.